Seems to be the final week of hiati, as Star Trek Discovery comes back with new episodes next week. But that doesn't mean we can have ourselves a party. We're talking season 2, episode 5, Saints of Imperfections. After the break.
This episode of Commander's Log is brought to you by Geek Renaissance. Need that special gift for the nerd in your life? Love supporting small business? Look no further than Geek Renaissance. The artist Sephra makes all items by hand and will boldly go to the final frontier for your unique gift. Head over to geekrenaissance.company.site and use the code FLOBITO, that's FLOBITO, to get 10% off your order. Don't forget to follow, like, and share Geek Renaissance on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Captain on the bridge. Captain on the bridge.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man. Time for Commander's Log. Oh, it's time for Commander's Log. We got to get the Commander's Log out, and all the ladies love Commander's Log.
They do. What's going on, Captain Sean? You out there acting, performing, making it happen?
Yeah, man. I'm in this play for another couple of weeks, so I'm lucky. We don't go up tonight. We go up tomorrow night. Start another weekend. It's a lot of fun, man. I'm happy to be back on the stage acting again. That's fun.
Is that the element? Is that your element?
that is the I honestly didn't think I could act. I
can't.
Well, I mean, you know how it is. You audition for things, and you don't get them. That's like the normal thing is you do a lot more auditions than you get acting jobs, and
you can't always get what you want,
but if you try sometimes you just might find you get what you need. And so that's why I went, I don't know if I want to go back to theater, and I'm so glad I did, because live audiences, you remember live audiences, Flobo?
Yeah, it was the year was 2000 and 1, 2, 3 years ago now.
It was 20 out 20 back in the day, baby, back before the big pandemic.
People were in the house asking each other, "What do you want to do tonight outside?" It was crazy.
Yeah, so
I want to know more about the show, because I know when you are done, they do the whole people throw flowers and stuff. You get to have the post-mortem. Do you guys do post-mortems in theater? Or?
What's interesting is some shows they do that. Some shows they talk about it right after, do some notes. This one, I guess it depends on the director. This one, the director's like, "I'll talk to you before tomorrow night's show," and that always helps too, because it's always fresh in your head. He's also one of these guys too of like, look, we did all the work. I'm not gonna have you do all sorts of adjusting and little tiny fine tuning. Now you're actors, your roles, and that's very cool. I also respect the you could get a little better laugh if you did this or that. So it's funny because I just end up going to the other actors like, "Could you give me some notes, please? I'm jonesing. Right. I gotta have some notes, man.
Is this anything?" Yeah, I totally get that part.
Yeah,
that part doesn't go away. Well, thanks for joining us at Commander's Log on that YouTube, that Twitter, that Twitch, and Facebook. We're talking about season 2, episode 5, Saints of Imperfection, because the show Star Trek Discovery is on hiatus. Until next week, we'll be back with brand new episodes, and I'll remind you at the end of the show, we have a special start time next week, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, to handle the new episodes of Star Trek Discovery. But now, episode 5. This one here was Captain's choice. I was like, "Captain, I am out of episodes to choose." And the captain said, "Here's this dope episode you're going to love." And damn, I should have asked you to pick episodes way earlier. Walk me through this. Why'd you pick this one?
Well, actually, there was a big process of elimination. There were other episodes I was going to choose, but a lot of those episodes had a specific episode that set them up. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to have to keep referring to an episode that we didn't watch together for this show. So anyway, I actually ended up on a show that ends a story arc. There are so many episodes that set up this episode.
Yeah.
That was a little problematic. However, I think the pluses outweighed the minuses here, because So many great things happen in this episode.
Oh yeah. Well, when you have things like that at end, either it's going to be a 3-hour show or it's going to be 30 minutes. And I have a feeling which one it might be.
I mean, this one's I just felt like Stefan from Saturday Night Live. This one's got it all.
Shout out to Bill Hader, man.
Oh man, Hader's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
What you get in this one is you get some primo Tilly. At this point, we thought Culber was dead
And gone.
We'll see what happens. Captain Pike is still the new guy in a lot of ways, but now he's a discovery guy. He's a discovery captain in this one. There is Stamets didn't have a great relationship with Tilly. Now it looks like Tilly's dead, but maybe she's not.
Wow.
And so you get a lot of heart, because Tilly really at this point especially is the heart of the show. She is the emotional center of the show. She's just as damaged as Michael in a lot of ways, but she is the opposite of Michael in that she doesn't wear this burden of the bad things that have happened to her on her shoulders so far.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Later,
Season 3 is a jump and a half. Like, whoa, my mouth sucks. Like, whoa.
Yeah. Later, Tilly definitely feels the weight, and as well she should. So, a lot of great things happen in this episode. That's why and I know your girl Nan. You love your Nan.
I do, man. Bring her back. Come on, man. That whole Barzon thing was a great send-off, but it can't be the last time I see Barzon. It can't be the last time I see Commander Nan. Nope. Do
you want to spoil a spoiler for you?
Let's spoil spoilers.
She's coming back.
Fudge, yes. That's what I'm talking about, man, because they listen to the fans of Discovery. That's what we're talking. Fan service.
Flobo service is fan service, folks. That is our new T-shirt. We hope you'll buy one.
Oh, that's terrible, but awful at the same time. But we'll get to the idea of what's going on with Tilly in just a minute, because what's also a bonus of this episode was Section 31, or the typical parts of Section 31. Philippa Georgiou, she's back, but something's a bit off. Pike is somehow trying to suss out what's going on. Section 31.
That was so good.
It was so good. Let's get on some of that in a second. But first, the idea of Section 31 being in this universe at this time.
Yes. Well, I think, first off, I was trying to figure out, why do I love Section 31 so much? And one of the reasons why is because the mid-90s were a great time for me. They were also a great time for the X-Files. Not too long after that, Section 31 is introduced on my favorite Star Trek, Deep Space Nine.
Ooh.
And so that 90s vibe, because Deep Space Nine is so 90s. That 90s vibe is so in there. And, what would happen if you've got the sunshiny Federation, the all good, all noble Federation? Well, of course, there's a shadow side to it.
Right.
And that is Section 31. You don't get to have peace without some war, without some destruction, some assassination, some spies. Yeah. That's Section 31. So, it tells a story just in the fact that it exists, that there is this dark side to the Federation. I just love that.
Why, though? Why does something as cool as the Federation need a dark, black ops, covert ops arm? Tell me.
Honestly, you don't get to have peace without people making or threatening to make some war. I'm sorry. It's just one of those juxtapositions. Hey, I hope I'm wrong. I hope people can prove me wrong here.
I cannot.
But there is always something in the shadows. There is always something evil lurking behind. So the very idea of Section 31 when it was introduced was that Dr. Bashir loved James Bond and loved these Cold War spies and would play them out in the holo suites. And then he actually meets real life Federation spies. They recruit him. And that's how we get to know Section 31 in Deep Space Nine. I've done a deep dive on my own of Section 31 before You were doing this show before I started doing Starbase 80. And we'll go back to it at some point because it is fascinating stuff. I do love Section 31.
I love it. And again, I know the show has been announced, the reboot or the spinoff, excuse me, of Section 31. So there's another room for these stories. I'm not sure where it lands on the timeline. I assume it's going to be before TOS, like where Discovery is now, but I'm not sure where it's going to take place quite yet.
We Discovery fans know that this Terran Empire Giorgio, so Empress Giorgio, who we get to see in this episode, and oh my God, this is one of the best Giorgio episodes ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're all good, but she does it all in this one. I love her so much. Michelle Yeoh, just top-notch, iconic Star Trek, villainous, shadowy hero, whatever you want to call her. She's seductive. She's naughty. She's evil. She's confrontational. Oh my God, she's so good in this.
Badass eating an apple, or is it a peach?
Yeah, you know, I think it was an apple, but there were definitely times where I was like, is that a peach?
Yeah, man. You know, it's our crap, you know. No, I'm kidding. That's a deep reference if you're a fan of that show episode. Yes. So Giorgio shows up and Pike is like, yeah, you know, memories, you know, catching up, but something's amiss. What's the deal?
I love this confrontation so much because it's not a confrontation and it's so Christopher Pike to go, well, I just wanted to say you were the sharpest tool in the shed. You were one of the sharpest, most clever captains we ever had. And Giorgio, who really is like one of the cleverest, goes like, well, you're asking me questions without asking me questions, aren't you? You want to know where I've been and what I'm doing and what's going on now. And I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Such a tease.
Cat and mouse game.
And she's wearing the cat suit. I mean, she could be Catwoman. Just put 2 ears on her. She's Catwoman.
Wow. Philippa Georgiou and Gotham City would be a whole other show that I would love to see.
I also love that she is so Section 31. She doesn't respect the chain of command. She wears this sexy suit, which, by the way, could be a direct descendant of Mrs. Peel's sexy cat suit from
the other Avengers.
The other Avengers. The
Which
English version of the Avengers.
Global fact, the only movie I ever walked out on was that
no
movie.
Kidding.
Yeah, with Uma Thurman and Sean Connery. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I used to go to movies so frequently. I would go, well, it's a movie. But that one was like, oh no. This is terrible. Weather?
I remember seeing it on cable and just like, yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Never ended up seeing the whole thing. Could it be a terrible movie? Yeah, it could. It was a terrible movie.
It's funny because like kids these days don't remember Steed and Peele, like almost like when I was a kid, there were like the Ghostbusters and the real Ghostbusters. There were two different shows. One had a monkey or a gorilla.
That's
like
right, a gorilla. A gorilla.
Whatever.
Well, okay, that was because there Filmation, the company that made He-Man, and there was a Flash Gordon series I loved. They did a lot of that. Yeah, they did a lot of Archie. You remember?
Yeah,
Lou Skirmer. A lot of those shows. They did a live action with Forrest Tucker and Larry Storch and a guy in a gorilla suit. And they were called the Ghostbusters, and they would solve crimes that were supposedly being done by ghosts, but in the great Scooby-Doo fashion, it's usually Mr. Wilson.
We are the ghost. Oh,
so they were the Go Ghostbusters with the big high five. That was them. Meanwhile, they make the real Ghostbusters, and that's I can't remember what the film company was that made that. So was that a Paramount? Was that a Universal? I don't remember. Anyway, the Bill Murray one, where Lorenzo Music plays Dr. Peter Venkman in the cartoon. But anyway, yes, that's why there were two cartoons. There were two properties they were based on. And Filmation would call theirs Filmation's Ghostbusters, and the one based on the movies was called The Real Ghostbusters.
So I yeah, like I said, it's every generation there's always something like that. There's always like he used to be called Captain Marvel, but now he's Shazam because Okay, sorry, sore spot. Very sore spot for me. Hey, what's up, Chris? Thanks for joining us on the show. This is Commander's Log, your one-stop shop for Discovery and eventually Strange New Worlds. But I want to talk about real quick. The last thing about Georgiou, I thought that was pretty awesome, was that moment when she gets on the deck and you had everyone draw their weapon, and Michael Burnham as well. She takes just a second to put her gun down. I was like, ooh, Burnham got issues.
Everybody's got their gun up. Then they see it's Georgiou. They lower their weapons, but not Burnham.
Yeah, and Pike is like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
And no one knows what Burnham knows about this Georgiou, which is she's not she's not our universe's good Georgiou. She's the evil universe's Georgiou, who Burnham saw her do some evil stuff. So it's not Burnham that's wrong here.
Is it wrong, though, that Burnham withheld information when Pike asked for it? To be like, I'll tell you later.
That's a good question, because I wondered the same thing. How do you explain this? When you come down to it and explain it, Section 31 knows that Georgiou is from the evil mirror universe.
Mm-hmm.
And they're okay with that because they're Section 31. You can I know. They don't care. Because she is right for them. She's the right fit for them. But yes, as far as the good Federation having this wolf among the flock, I don't know. I mean, how do you explain it? I don't blame Burnham, because at this point, Burnham is not anything. She's not a captain. I don't even think she's first officer. I think she's science officer.
Yeah.
She's a bridge officer, so that's a big deal. But she has no power. There's nothing she's going to gain by explaining who and what this deadly woman is. And she's got other worries, because in and among all of these issues, we have yet to even bring this up. They're still looking for Spock.
Yeah, who? Is it a big deal?
Burnham's brother. And now Pike is Spock's captain. So Georgiou's given them a whole lot of attitude, because she's like, I'm not going to let you guys do this, because you're clearly going to try to help him. And he's wanted for murder.
That's a good question. So 5 episodes into season 2, we have not seen Spock yet. Was that a problem for you first time watching it? Or you kind of like, that's cool, mystery? Or you're like, oh, come on, Spock.
It's weird being this age. That I'm at,
is it?
which is so damn old. I can almost eat at Denny's for free.
Dude, take me with you.
Sure.
I'm with him.
Sure. This is my caretaker, Flobo. The interesting thing about watching Discovery for me has always been, I started 2 years in. So I had a bunch of back episodes I could watch.
Mm.
I was watching the third season on with you. So I had to really catch up, which I did. And then, you invited me on to Commander's Log with you. And then we were doing the third season on. So I got to binge a lot. I don't know how I would have felt if I was going week to week. Like, you said we were gonna find Spock. like you said we were gonna eat half an hour ago. I didn't have to be hangry for Spock.
Got it. So for me, the time I got into Star Trek, season 1 was already out. And I didn't realize at the time, but I had finished like 2 weeks before season 2 was out. So I got to watch season 2 with the AfterBuzz crew in time. And I remember being like, oh, this is a cool adventure. I know Spock is from the other show. Maybe it's a reference like Supergirl. But my co-hosts, who are long-term fans, were just kind of like, oh, come on. Either do it or don't fish or cut sheet or get off the pot. I didn't know what you felt. How you felt.
Well, I understand that feeling, and I haven't been young in a long time, so I don't quite remember that. Like, give it to me, come on, we need it now. But yeah, I get it. I certainly get it.
You're like what, 45, 46? Come on, man.
In a month, I will be 59 years old.
45, 46. How old you play, John?
Well, yeah, I do play younger. That's true. That's true.
I have one more question about the Section 31 thing.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of a. This could go into a deep dive thing. I'm not sure how deep you want to go, but I was reading online on the Reddits that says, quote, with Leland and eventually Control, are Section 131 responsible for the Borg? And that can be interpreted both ways. So what do you think?
Whoa. Oh. Well, I
Leland
mean,
was the captain of the ship. For those of you who haven't watched the episode, Leland was the captain of the ship that George was.
we meet Leland in this episode for the first time, and he is he's a very legit Federation officer. Where has he been all this time? Section 31. He also does like the most evil thing I can think of, which is he can clearly grow a head of hair, but he does the shaved head anyway.
Ooh, that's scoundrel.
Evil. That is evil.
Look at you.
Leland's really a funny, interesting character in how not good he is.
Yeah. Wow. I agree with you.
And it tells you a lot about Section 31. And yes, he eventually does become possessed by an evil AI. And this evil AI is sort of trapped in the past. Yeah. I mean, if you closed the circle on that as a Star Trek showrunner and you said, yes, Control is where the Borg started, it wouldn't confuse me. It wouldn't be like, oh, I don't understand that. It might seem a little pat. I always have a problem when you've got a whole universe out there and a lot of things are related to each other.
So it could be like an imperfect lineage, like Prometheus, I guess, like Prometheus alien.
I mean, it's possible. It is
Spoiler
definitely
alert.
possible. Because one of the things about the Borg is that the Borg absorbs life forms into a machine life. And that seems very progressive AI for me. Like I'm a big Stargate fan too, and they have an AI that just kills all human life. It detects technology, then it finds the humans that made it, then it destroys them. And that makes sense too. That's very Terminator. Jumping over to the Terminator universe, that the machines wipe out the living. But I also like the Matrix version of things, which would be closer to the Borg, which is they use humans as batteries.
The disrespect you have yet to mention Brainiac just breaks my heart. But it's fine. I'll somehow carry on there. No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
Brainiac. I do love me some Brainiac 5 from Legions of Super.
Oh, that's different. Brainy, if you're gonna watch Super
Brainy, because he's especially if you ever watch the Legion of Heroes cartoon, that character is really great in that. I never got to know the character in Supergirl. I assume he's a good character who's around for a long time.
I don't know what the trope is, but it's the friend behind the computer. Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry, John. Jeez. Oh God.
No. There's always one of those, right?
Right,
They got those on Flash. They got those on Arrow. There's always the yes, I found the warehouse. It's 1 mile ahead of you.
That's the one. Because I think they had like Agent Wynn, and then he went away. And okay, sorry, not the point of the show. The point of the show is not Supergirl. Moving on to our A story this week is Tilly's alive, John. Tilly's alive, but she's in the mushroom world like Super Mario. Talk to me. What's going on with Tilly right now?
This makes perfect sense. They have been telling us for all this time that what's special about the USS Discovery is it can access a connected dimension. Speaking of other comic books and other science fiction franchises, this was always how Raven on Teen Titans was able to teleport. She doesn't actually teleport. She goes to this dark dimension that her father is from and then accesses our dimension from it. It looks like teleportation. That's exactly what the mycelial network is. You go into the mycelial network. Its space is different from ours. You can exit in different places, and it looks like crazy teleportation. But really, it was interdimensional travel.
Which is I always love from the intros when the two hands come together. They kind of kind of intimate
Yes.
utensils. Pretty sick.
Yes.
But we found Tilly because they somehow Stamets used logic and math and science to find out, oh, she's an entire organic mass. I know it's kind of moot because we just talked about your binging habits, but you think Tilly was dead and gone? And this was a surprise? It was kind of like, oh, I'm so glad they brought Tilly back.
Not for a second. Not for a second. I still don't believe that she's not on Discovery. I mean, granted, would she leave episode 2?
Yeah.
I mean, this season, she left the ship. I scoured the internet for news about that and did find interviews that she did where
scoured.
Oh, scoured. Are you kidding? My girl, you're taking my girl away. I love my Discovery redheads. Tilly is at the top of the list. Then Detmer,
absolutely.
Then Stamets. Then get me. I think the president, is she a redhead? I can't remember. She's a blonde, right?
I think so. I think so naturally. So.
But yeah, I never thought Tilly was gone. No,
that's good. That's good.
They wouldn't do that to me.
I have this in my notes. I go, in hindsight, it's kind of a goofy story. This idea of being in this mycelial network and it's actually mycelial. It seems very TOS. And in parentheses, I have go on sexy Stamets. I don't know why I put that there. But but TOS, is that an okay assessment? Or am I just being that guy who's a brat when it comes to old school Star Trek?
I don't know. I don't know if I think of this one as being so TOS, especially maybe because in TOS people die, but not really.
Right. But not really.
I mean, over and over again. Oh, Spock killed Captain Kirk. No, he didn't. Spock is dead. No, he ain't. I mean, over and over. So yeah, I mean, I see that there. The threat and the loss are very, very profound on this show, and more so than the ultra macho, the original series. That's a Discovery thing, how people mourn and how people carry their feelings.
Okay, yeah. I didn't think about that.
It right at the very beginning of the episode when I'm going to try to not get emotional here. When Burnham is told, you don't hear what Burnham is told. You just see her reaction. I know there's a lot of people out there who freaking hate Sonequa Martin Green's emotions. They hate how she is close to tears or crying. They hate how her voice quavers. Get over it, boys. People feel emotions. It happens. People watch TV to see emotions.
True.
Not everybody's a freaking sociopath. So that slow-mo run of her trying to get to where Tilly was basically destroyed, where she was turned into that big, goopy grave of mushroom. I don't know what that thing is on the floor of I guess that's engineering.
Very Super Mario Brothers
engineering lab. She gets there and then there's the like, oh no, what are we gonna tell her? And it's just, it's heartrending. It is heart tearing. So yeah, I was there with the loss. I'm glad that they were telling us a story about the loss and that Stamets was so hurt by it because he's still mourning. We find out when she says widower. She uses the word widower when she refers to him in her thoughts, Burnham. And that's the first time we find out that Culber and Stamets were married.
Oh, is it? Oh. Yeah. Man, I'm glad you took notes. I did not take notes about that at all. I'm the worst host ever.
MemoryAlpha.com took those notes. I just read them.
Yeah, shout out for reading, y'all. But Tilly is inside the mycelial network, and it turns out that the projection of May, which is just basically some sentient mycelials, mushrooms, are kind of like, hey man, I'm a human form because that's how you recognize me. But I was kidnapped you because you're a hero. You can help us out. I was on board with this, but again, it did seem very Super Mario Brothers the movie. I was looking for Dustin Hoffman. I've been very, so walk me through this, man. It's kind of a weird thing to be in this this alien land, very Star Trek,
Yeah.
but this
Yeah.
alien isn't at a location distance. It's like a interdimensional place, but it's a threat about this monster just destroying everything because they have the poison tree, which I don't quite understand. The poison tree and just spreading it everywhere.
Yeah, and it has caused all of these interactions that are killing the life forms in the mycelial dimension. And she's like, I brought you here, Tilly, so you could kill this monster.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'm down with everything. I agree with everything at this point. It's a little shreddy for me near the end, but I'm totally with it. I'm not quite with it when we get right down to the nitty gritty of plot A here, and I'll tell you why when
tell me why.
Well, okay.
Tell me why now, damn it.
So I mean, they're telling us that somehow Culber, okay, Dr. Culber, Hugh Culber was killed. He was killed by Ash Tyler, who has an evil Klingon in his mind, because deep down he is the evil Klingon Voq.
Totally.
He snaps the neck of Dr. Hugh Culber, and that's that. He's dead.
Right.
He's dead.
He's dead, y'all. And
then we find the monster that was in the mycelial network that has been causing May so much problem that she appears to Tilly, and she finds a way to get Tilly to her so that Tilly will help her get rid of this monster. The monster turns out to be Dr. Culber.
It's man
in the mycelial network.
Okay.
And we even find out, I'll give this away, we even find out that he's trapped there. He is of the mycelial network right now, made from mycelial network elements and material matter.
Okay.
But he only exists there, which is all right in terms of you brought back somebody from the dead, but there's a limitation. Okay, sure. That's cool. I kind of get down with that. But I mean, he was dead by his neck being snapped. It wasn't like he flew into atoms and then was brought back together in the mycelial network. It's not like his spirit was captured in the mycelium. Right. I mean, it's not like any of that. So it's not any sort of story that we've heard before. So it makes it really weird. I mean, I'll give them this. They do go to great lengths to explain how weird it is.
Yeah.
So that's good.
A wizard did it.
But it is very wizard. It is very wizardy. It's so wizardy.
So the idea that the original body has perished, because I would assume if his neck was snapped, they would have disposed of the body, but the spirit's trapped in the mycelial network, and they basically create another spirit inside the tomb. Does not work for you? Or is that just too weird?
It does in the sense that they explain that this big mushroom globby thing that's on the floor that they thought either ate Tilly or destroyed Tilly or is what Tilly became. And they find out that's not true. What they find out is it's a transporter.
Right.
And it brings you down. So now, Flobo, here you are. You have to face one of the biggest questions in the history of Star Trek. And I don't know if you've ever been made to face this.
Uh-oh.
You are on a Federation ship. You step onto the transporter. The transporter is now going to put you onto the planet below. Let's say Risa 7.
Uh-oh.
You're on a nice vacation.
Me and Tarka.
Okay. You get transported. And then you're down on the planet. So, is the body down on the planet your body? Or did they destroy your body and then just recreate your body on the surface of the planet, and somehow your consciousness is attached to it?
Oh yeah, like spirit versus matter, eh? Well, I would like to assume anything besides Discovery in the future, because they just hit it once and they like teleportation. I would assume that you are broken down into matter elements. And when you are rearranged, there's a bit of familiarity between the synapses or the nerves or whatever. Because I know this now, in Star Trek The Motion Picture, when it does it, they felt that like, I'm dead. So I do think you are a sum. Spirit is a sum of rearranging your molecules in this perk way. Now, that being said, it'll be interesting that we haven't seen more instances of personality changes. If you transport too much, or like bar rot or something.
It does happen in the original Star Trek. There is a transporter accident. It splits. It's multiplicity. It splits Captain Kirk into two, and there's one that is way too thoughtful and timid, and then there's one that's just like an id. I'm just like all about violence and fast reactions, and
he's a real
all
one.
the toughness. and essentially evil, not exactly evil, but essentially evil, because when you split those two personality parts, again, this is something that's been done a million times in comic books and science fiction. So we're kind of past it as fans. But what they're telling us here is that Culber, somehow his energy was traveled through the mycelial network. And so his energy persona was reconstructed in the mycelial dimension.
As a foreign body. Yeah.
And because that sort of, and he's very foreign to that atmosphere, to the point where they think he's a monster, because whenever they touch him, they die. Mm-hmm. And his presence is poison and destructive to them. They compare it to cancer. He is a cancer to the body that is the mycelial dimension. And by sending him to that big gloppy transporter pod that May left on the Discovery, he's able to be born. He's able to be reconstructed. By the way, I didn't ask to see his ass, but a good butt. It was a good butt.
Okay. Thanks for joining us on Commander's Log.
Wilson Cruz keeping it tight well into his 40s. I mean, come on. You got to give it up. You got to give it up.
As some guy who's still trying to work on the 10 pounds I gained during the holiday season, I respect that. But it's not nearly as good. So before I get into the other half of this, can I say that the half jump is one of the coolest things I've ever seen? Like the half jump in between the normal network. I was like, oh, wow, it's like a movie. This is pretty awesome.
It was. Yeah, the special effects in this one are primo. I freaking love when the Section 31 ship was nearby the whole time, and they didn't know because it was disguised as I guess with a hologram, was disguised as an asteroid. And then when we see that ship and they put their tractor beams on, they try to pull the Discovery out of this half dimension, that they're in. Oh my God. Yeah. I was like, take my money.
Yeah. That's another episode. I felt like a movie. That adds a ticking time bomb element, the mycel thingies, the flakes, I guess. So the mushrooms were eating the hull. And so there was a race against time to get that happen. And the movie kind of turns into Aliens at that point.
Yeah.
Dark corridors. There's a monster, giant rifles. The whole cannon is like phasers all day, but now with rifles. Shoot it! Like, wait, what? Standard issue.
when Tilly was strapped, like that entertained me on levels I can't even tell you. Like, first off, the big, like, she gets the big Sigourney Weaver gun. I actually have that in my notes. Hello, Tilly, with the Sigourney Weaver space gun.
Captain Tilly's here.
And what's that line she had where she's like afraid? Oh, I don't know if I could find it.
I have a lot of good lines in this episode. Three of my favorite quoted weeks.
Whatever you are, I'm holding a Type 3 phaser rifle. It is more powerful and generally larger than the Type 1 or Type 2, which I guess is why they call it a 3.
On brand.
I love Tilly so much.
Yeah. Well, I guess to get into it now. My quotes of the week are this: when May explains what's going on, she goes, "Oh, that old trick," and I thought it was pretty cool.
Yes, great line. Great
uh,
line.
Captain Pike from the Black Alert, Mr. Stamets, are you ready to execute this very bold yet deeply insane plan of yours? Which I say all the time on Starbase 80. Am I right?
I'm telling you, Pike has some of the best lines.
Oh, and this last one's also from Pike. At the end, it's like we have a complications. Like, we won't survive complications, Commander. And I think that should be in a T-shirt. Yeah.
I mean, in the episode we were talking about last week, where they jump in and they're trying to find the Red Angel, they're trying to find the signal, and Pike's like, "Hey, where the hell's my red dot?"
Yeah. What gives? So we did the whole thing.
I just love how he just cuts right through it. He just cuts right through it with the language that we all understand, with an attitude that we all understand. I really think this is one of the best Captain Pike episodes ever.
I agree. Actually, again, in my notes, damn, Pike is swagged out. I'm making John pick all episodes from now on.
I'm a big Ash Tyler fan, and I was thrilled that he returns also as a member of Section 31, also doesn't trust Giorgio. Nobody does. Just so much great stuff happening in this episode.
I also like the fact that Commander Non was eyeing Ash like, you better eat that food all nice, but not corn. I swear to God.
Dude, that moment where he gets onto the bridge, Ash is on the bridge as the Section 31 guy, looking very like emo.
Yeah.
He's got the beard, which, Shazad Latif, I think the guy looks amazing in a long beard.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Again, this is me talking about how good looking the men on Star Trek are. I don't care. I'm too old to care.
Speaking of Wilson Cruz's asses, your beard is fantastic. I'll let you know.
Oh, and this was the first time we saw Wilson Cruz with all that hair.
Oh, that was so fake, bro. I was like, what are you doing? Did he fall on a rug? What is this?
All that hair and bad teeth. You're working really hard to make Wilson Cruz not look good.
I'm just like, these mycelial networks gave you the worst look, bro. What are they doing with these stylists?
They gave him a make under.
That's what I'm saying. What cosmetology school did these mushrooms go to? Okay, honey, because that was not fashion. Am I right?
I'm totally into how they brought back Culber. The fact that they brought him back, how they brought him back, I'm still like, okay, I guess. But the fact that he's back, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, it kind of puts another layer to the dangers of space, because one, everyone survives, it's okay, fine. If people die, there's that ripple effect. But when someone comes back and they change, it comes down to how do you get people back into the fold, which could be right for some good stories, and we eventually got those stories. So I think that's the boldest choice, not to say necessarily a cash grab, but to bring someone back with a different personality, saying we're willing to start over with the same actor with their old memories, is a nice little tip to have from the writers.
Yes, I totally agree. It actually, in this, I mean, they're just about to come back from hiatus, but the last few episodes that we've been watching in season 4 of Discovery, it really mattered that he died. He knows he died. He came back. He knows he came back. Lots of dead people didn't come back. So he's got survivor's guilt. It has affected so many of the things that he's done and said and felt, and he's not in a great place. He's not okay with it, and that's great. I love that 2 years after, or 2 seasons after he comes back, it's still an issue. We haven't forgotten it.
What are you gonna say? Oh, listen, you came back, bro. Relax. The burning sensations like you're in hell. Oh, what a drama queen. Are you kidding me? Yes.
Just get over it.
I mean, come on. Have you tried going for a walk? Ugh.
Think of all the things that have happened in Star Trek. There was, one of the guys, was it O'Brien on Deep Space Nine? One of the guys breaks a law on a planet, and so they put him in prison in his mind.
Oh,
so now he has the memories of having gone to prison, even though it took up no time at all.
That's
but he's still
worse.
bearing that. That's some dark crap right there.
You gotta watch that episode.
And there's a lot of psychological things they go through. Patrick Stewart's Captain Picard on Next Generation bumps into this buoy that's basically sending off a signal that tells the story of a civilization that's long gone. And what it does is it makes him think he was part of that civilization. So he lives a lifetime just being told this story. It's his story. He married, he had kids, he learned how to play the flute. This is how Picard learned how to play the recorder really well.
Oh,
yeah. I bet you were always wondering.
I did. I straight up.
But there have been, Picard was turned into a Borg. There have been these storylines about people trying to bear the mental, the psychic effects of all of these weird alien experiences. So yeah, this is another one of those. In that way, it's very much canon. It's very much of Star Trek. So I'll give them that. Yeah, the writers are really clever there.
Yeah, going through the ringer and keeping your rank. Whew, rather not. As we hit the orbit of our Class M planet Terra, Captain John, is there anything on your notes that we haven't touched upon this episode you want to talk about?
I do love that Section 31 kind of gives you the James Bond, again, I'm bringing up that name, but kind of the James Bond cutting edge technology, because how about that moment? Let's see if I can do it. How about that moment where Ash is on the bridge and he basically goes, Section 130, Section 31 ship, do you read me? He's got a comm badge. And Captain Pike actually says, what the hell's that?
Oh, yeah.
It's like the first comm badge.
Good
100
point.
years before everyone's using them.
You are the best at this deep dive stuff. Or Memory Alpha is. I haven't decided.
Please. Memory Alpha does all the work. I just read it.
I'm actually reading the soon-to-be no longer latest James Bond book, Forever and a Day, by Anthony Horowitz. It's the prequel to Casino Royale. So it's cool.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, that's what Section 31 could be. I have no idea what they're going to do with it. The truth is out there, Kirsten.
Sure
I have no idea what they're going to do with it, but the little clues of this advanced technology and all of that is really cool. I'd love to see more of that.
And see, we will. Section 31 has been confirmed. It's still just stating as due to a article we got from Philippa Giorgio this week. So, Michelle Yao, not Philippa Giorgio. She's not writing in character. John, about time we get out of here, man. You know, we got some other Star Charts to watch. And before we get out of here, if anyone want to connect with you online or just see what's going on with you, how to go about doing that?
You can find me on Twitter at Starbase80. Also, the Facebook page, Starbase80. I am very prominent there if you want to get in touch with me. Also, Weber Internet Thingy on YouTube. And we also have a page on the Facebook. So, hey, drop by. I'd love to talk to you if you ever want to talk.
For sure. As that book I mentioned, Forever and a Day, is part of my Patreon, patreon.com/FlowBoys. We do something called Flobito's Book Club. That's what we do. We have just me, us in a review, chat about books, among other content. If you haven't already, check it out. The link below, patreon.com/FlowBoys. But that's not for me. We'll be back here next week at a special time, 3 p.m. Pacific. 6 p.m. Eastern, I think. Yeah, it's math. Yeah, whatever. Until next time, Captain, live long and prosper.
L.